Hi there. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you'll stick around with me today and paint these delightful watercolor earrings in resin. You're going to need watercolors and a watercolor paintbrush. Today I'm using my Decadent palette by Prima Marketing, my size 3 Intuition round brush by Artegria. You'll also need UV resin and a UV lamp and a lighter in case you have any bubbles in your resin. I'm also using 12mm round stainless steel bevels for my earring settings and earring hooks. And you'll need scissors or a 1/2 inch round punch. And you'll also need a little scrap of watercolor paper. Let's get started. So I want to make some resin earrings today, but I want to do this on a watercolor base. And I have my stainless steel 12mm earring blanks right here. They're something like 1mm deep, and I don't know if you can see that. I can't quite get it to focus, but they're about 1mm deep. I purchased them off of Amazon forever ago, and they're stainless steel, so they're they really have a lot of longevity. And I'm using my Decadent Pies watercolors by Prima Marketing, and I have just a scrap of watercolor paper here. And I mean a scrap. It's a little over 2 inches long by about 1 inch wide. And first thing I want to do is just trace my blank here. And I'm turning this over so that the open part is on the underside. And the reason I'm doing that is so that I can get a bit smaller, a bit closer in with my pencil mark. I don't really have to have it, and I'm not actually going to cut this out. I have a punch that I purchased that works perfectly for this, but it does help me to have a better idea of what size I'm painting. And I tend to over paint. I have a much larger painting than I can ever possibly hope to fit in this tiny little earring, but it works. And really what I want is maybe a Bluebonnet-ish painting in there. Just kind of, abstract-ish. But this is so super easy, and these are so giftable. So I really like to make them. I just tried it kind of on a whim, and I find that the most challenging part is watching for bubbles. I have a hard time spotting them. My vision is not as good as it used to be. So I'm just getting some of my paint ready. I think this is the blueberry shade, maybe. I haven't looked at the names of the colors in quite a while. I actually don't often use these, even though they are delightful to paint with. So just being aware that I really want to paint well inside this, just to show you for scale how small this earring is, the painting itself. Here's a finished example. And when you put that beside this, you can see you really need to paint quite inside that right there. So there it is. We'll do something kind of like Bluebonnets. So I'll start kind of inside these tiny little marks. Like if you've been planting this spring, they're going to kind of be the size of some seeds, maybe some very small seeds. And then I'm kind of mirroring on this side, but I am not locked into, they have to match, they have to look, the same, like mirror images. And the reason I'm not locked into that is because it's rare to see something like that in nature, and with earrings, no one looks at both of your earrings at the same time. I don't know. And I don't have a particularly large head or anything. So, if you're giving them as a gift, maybe you want them close, but even then, I don't think it matters a ton. Now, I want to let these dry a little. The little dots of pigment are kind of little domed puddles. They're droplets on there. And I want that to dry a little, because if I brush straight into that pigment's going to go straight into the water that I brush, and it's kind of going to give me a flat color. I'm just going to end up with one brush mark, one petal that's one shade of blue. And what I'd like to do is get those to dry a little and then end up with a bit more of a gradient in that blue. So I have something that goes from lighter to deeper blue. Now I'm watching, and a couple of these have started to dry. And what I've done is I've really rinsed my brush, and then I've dragged most of the excess water off. And I'm just going to touch and kind of brush until I touch and see some pigment, and then I'm going to rinse and do that a little more. I'm wanting not to redistribute too much of my pigment. I think that really helps to maintain this gradient, which that's why I'm re-wetting so often. Sometimes I will go from one brush mark to another and not re-wet, but you know, you just kind of have to see how you feel like doing it. And see, that bloomed quite a bit, that particular one, which is fine. Clearly that had a bit more wet pigment in it. Just giving it a nice rinse here and there. I'm kind of, you know, dragging off some of that water. I like to be sure that I'm not bringing too much. I don't want it to puddle too very much. And I realize that, you know, my painting is quite, it's going quite outside what my earring is actually going to be, and that's okay. So just touching into these dots of pigment. I love that. And then grab some olive green or whatever you like here. And just pull this down. I don't like to do the entire flower. I like to have some little branches in there. Now, would that have been better with maybe a fine liner or something? Yeah, probably. Because that's a little more of a brush stroke than I'd really want there, but I'm going to see if I can kind of just scrub that out a little. I just took my rinsed brush, and yeah, I like that fine. And I thought about whether I want any background on these, and I really think I just want to stick with the blue and the white. See if I want to soften any more of this on the left one. I like that the right one turned out with, I don't know, maybe just a few more petals, but I think I'm happy with it. I think I'm just going to leave it like that. So then for finishing off, and really this is fairly dry, so I'm going to take my punch. Let me raise this and just see if I can get a little better of a focus on here. But I have this little 12 millimeter punch. It's a 1/2 inch punch, and what I do is I turn it upside down, and then I place my, oh, let's go this way. So I turn it upside down, and then I like to place my artwork in there, and then you see you can move it around to find just the right spot to punch. That's how I like to do it. Okay, perfect little punch. So much easier than trying to cut these little suckers out. Just line it up how you like it. Okay, 2 perfect little paintings there for these earrings. Zoom this back in. Okay, and then I like to bend these out just a little. They tend to get curved just a tiny bit from that process of punching, and so I like to flatten them. Just, you can tell they're nice and flat. Probably, you know, is not completely a deal breaker or anything. However, you can get some air trapped beneath there, and then when the resin is filling in on the earrings, I guess it is possible to have some air bubbles surface. But I like to just pop those in there and then kind of orient them how I want them. I find that sometimes a safety pin is nice for that because it just grabs it a little. So I keep the safety pin handy anyway for popping resin bubbles if necessary. Okay, that's straight up and down. Let's see what happens if we just kind of shift it to the side a little. Just a little. You know, you just have to do it how you like. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna love these so much. So excited about these. Okay. And then I do find they need a little bit of centering. Okay. I love that. Love, love, love it. Okay, so I got everything ready here, except for my resin. It was just kind of out of reach. And I've checked my placement on the inserts. So what I want to do is my UV, this UV resin is somewhat empty. It's well below halfway full. And so I like to tilt it slowly so that hopefully some of the air can release before my resin gets to the tip. But once it gets here, see, I have a bubble coming out. I'll probably have one more. I just saw a little pop there. And then I just go in the center and put a good amount of a puddle. And then same thing for this side. And I see a bubble. So I like to try to use my needle to pop that, which it did. Doesn't always work, but I also keep a lighter handy. The lighter helps to bring the bubble up to the surface and pop. And so I just use this over the surface of my UV. Try not to do overly much. I feel like it can affect the UV resin, at least from what I've seen. And then this is ready to use my UV light. So I'll just put this on here. I usually do 2 minutes. So I gave that an extra 30 seconds because I did feel that I had a very good heavy layer of my UV resin on there. And those are fully cured and ready to have some earring findings put on them. Now, these are not my absolute favorite style, but I have about 1 billion of them. And so that's why I will probably use these. I have the lobster style that hooks in the back. I like those. I prefer those to the kind that clip together in the back. I just don't like those quite as well. And I'll put these on, and then they will be finished and ready to be worn or gifted. But I want you to see just how beautiful those turned out. I think I managed to do that without any bubbles. I just love that so much. And now your mileage may vary. You will want to test out your resin. I will obviously list everything that I've used in the description, but I know that some people comment and they find that they need to put some kind of sealer on their artwork before they UV it, before they put the resin. And that, you know, may very well be true at times. I have done this on several pairs of earrings and several pendants, and I have not found that I've needed that. And in fact, I did it a couple of times. I used a couple of different methods and had some smearing, and by far I'm just happier with the UV resin directly on my watercolor. So you just try it and see how you like it. Okay, I wanted to show you the finished product after the earrings have their hooks on them, and they're just all ready to go. Absolutely lovely, just such a sweet pair of earrings. So I hope that you will try this. I hope that you will let me know what you think of them, and the process of doing this. I would love to know if you end up making some of these for yourself or as a gift, and let me know about it in the comments. And as always, happy painting.